guys, I'm Amy, and you've landed on Belle Loves Bargains. That's my cow Effingham, and sometimes he co-hosts with me. He's got a lot to say. This channel is Dollar Tree, and only Dollar Tree. And why? Because everything at the Dollar Tree is $1.25, people. So stick around, consider subscribing, and don't forget to give me that big thumbs up. And if you want to know more about the 4 uploads I do every week, just check out the description box for more information. Enjoy! Raven hair and ruby lips, sparks fly from her fingertips. Echoed voices in the night, she's a restless spirit on an endless flight. Ooh, witchy woman, see how she flies. Ooh, witchy woman, she got the moon in her eyes. She held me spellbound in the night, dancing shadows and firelight. A crazy laughter in another room, and she drove herself to madness with a silver spoon. Ready? Ooh, witchy woman, see how she flies. Ooh, witchy woman, she got the moon in her eyes. Hey guys, welcome to Belle's Bargains. My name is Amy. Wow, oh my gosh. Like, I've never ever sung that song. I didn't realize it was such a cool song. I mean, we know it. We all know. Ooh, witchy woman. That's all we know. Anyway, it's a kind of a cool song. So I didn't sing the rest of it, but the words are interesting. All right, and that is, of course, by the ever infamous Eagles, right? Gosh, what a phenomenal group. Them and Queen, I feel like, are just like, so amazing. And Neil Diamond and Barry Manilow. Okay, let's stop. All right, guys. So today is day number, let me think about it, 7, 8, wait. So confusing. So if today is the 6th, I'm filming on the 6th. But what I'm showing you is actually 7, 8, 9th. I think it's number 9. It is number 9. Well, if it's not, whatever the video thumbnail says, that's what it is. But today is number 9. And I'm so excited to show you what I made today because this is super cool. And I'm really trying to do some different things, not have them all be like the same kind of stuff. Although some of them definitely go together, like the stuff I did on my front porch. But I'm really just trying to use up all my Halloween stuff, blah, blah, blah. Okay, listen, if you're new to the channel, stick around. We do start every video with a song. I have a cow. I know, and I was just getting ready to say that, Effingham, who co-hosts with me a lot. And I didn't tell you I was singing that song. You're right, I should have, because it could have been Moo, witchy woman. But I didn't, yeah. But you still mooed. It was good, Effingham. Anyway, and Marcus is in the background getting everything packed because we're leaving for Atlanta. We're there right now while you guys are watching this. Okay, let me show you what I made because I'm so excited about it. This channel is Dollar Tree, and only Dollar Tree. And why? Because everything at the Dollar Tree is $1.25. That is correct, Effingham. Welcome to my kitchen. Okay, that's good. Thank you. Welcome to my kitchen. This is literally what happens on all of my videos. You guys come in here, we chit chat, we have some fun, and I show you crafts or a haul. It just depends. But right now, we're in the middle of 31 straight days of Halloween. 31. Now I'm on number 8. I'm not even a third of the way through. And I'm out of town, so I had to get these all done. All right, let me just show you. I love this. I love this one. Marcus was very impressed, weren't you, honey?
Yeah.
What? Check her out. Ooh, witchy woman. Okay, so what are these? Okay, this is just the wood cutout that they give us, right? So I took 2 of them. I A-framed them so I could get it to stand up on its own. Let me grab my iPad so I can show you. So I made it a standing decor piece as opposed to a hanging sign. She's so cool. Let's go over this really quickly, and then you guys can watch a video of how I made it. So first of all, it is a lot of marker, and you'll see in the video what I use, because I use a lot of marker, especially on wood. I love the way it looks. People think you have to paint. No, you don't. You can marker. It's the same thing as paint. It's dye. A marker is a dye, so I'm dyeing my witch. Anyway, and then I'm dyeing. So then, and then I did paint, though, the black parts. But there's a few things I want to point out. So let's talk about her first. Do you see that sort of iridescence in her? And do you see there's some depth in that, in her gown or whatever it is, draped thing? Because when I painted with the acrylic, I left heavy streaks so it would dry with some 3-dimension, like wrinkles in her material. Then I took that New York SGX whatever hair dye stuff that I bought, and it was midnight blue, I think, and I said I'm saving it for Halloween. That's what's doing all this, you guys. So I squeeze it out of the bottle, and then I do this. Look at the brim of her hat. I absolutely love it. Marcus, stop making faces behind the camera. Say hi, besties.
Hi, besties.
Okay, so now let me just, I don't know why I'm leaving it on the iPad. Let's pick it up. Okay, so I A-framed it. First of all, I painted all 4 sides, which you'll see in the video, because when I looked in here, I wanted to still see green hair, right? No matter where I looked at it from. So I painted them all exactly the same. You can see my painting technique, and everybody's got different ones. But, so that's her. Let's talk about the cauldron. All right, I took baking soda, now baking powder, and I mixed it with black paint and a little tiny bit of white. So look at what happens when you do the baking soda, because it bubbles. And so it's the coolest effect. I'm gonna be doing more of this. You wanna make something look like concrete? I just figured it out. This looks like concrete, doesn't it? Okay, so just watching the video. Then I took a bath mat and I used that same midnight blue hair dye stuff, and I painted the inside of a bath mat. I cut it all out to use as big bubbles. Little time consuming, you guys, for sure. A little time consuming, but so worth it. And then I took vase filler. So I glued some of the bubbles on, right? Front and back, because I was like, this was going to be a good either side kind of thing. So then I took the vase fillers, the purple, Mod Podge, and some more of their hair dye, mixed it all up, and then just like clumped it on. This is hard, you guys. Like this is, it dries super hard because of the Mod Podge. This is my favorite so far. And I know it's not really whimsical, but it is. I feel like it's kind of whimsical because we have this going on, so it's not like scary. For me, this is pretty whimsical, and I'm obviously really into the purples this year. And then I just took a piece of black paper and glued it in there so that the sides, you know, there would be a top to the cauldron, so to speak, on the side. Yes, I think this is, I'm very proud of myself. I love this piece. All right, so hold on. I'll show you how I made it. All right, I have 2 of these. It's a witch, and she's stirring her pot. Okay, but listen, I'm going to put some blocks in between it so that it'll stand on its own, all right? But I'm going to keep the top together. But then, like, sort of A-frame it. So I'll put some tumbling blocks or something in there. And then I'm going to make her, I'm going to paint it all up and then make her stuff here bubble over. And I think I'm going to use some of like this is a bath mat, and then the vase fillers that are like the green and the purple, and I'll mix them all in. And then I might even use some of that hair dye that I can't find right now that was perfect for some of that purple sparkly stuff. Anyway, let's start. This is a little tedious, but it's super cool when it's all done. So I'm just taking markers and I'm like finishing all the lines on this wood cutout. So identifying where her sort of robe goes and her hair is going to be, and her hand on the big cauldron stick that's mixing it. What do you call that thing? Anyway, all right, so then I just take my different markers, and I'm doing a lot of shadowing here just to get the green that I want. And I used like the permanent marker green and then went over it with the glass green, and then I used a jewel colored Sharpie for doing some outlining and for defining her mouth and lips and her eye and her nose, like just to do a little bit of definition on her face there. And then I just continued to go into her hair area using that jewel color. So this is just personal preference on whatever you do. Like you could make your hair black if you wanted to, or gray. So I did start with a gray base, FYI. Sorry, should have said that. And then I go over with the jewel, and then I just started adding in different colors, greens, because I wanted sort of that stringy, ugly witch hair effect. Then I take the black chalk paint and I paint the hat and the robe, and I use glue to fill in the hole on the top of the hat. So I'm only showing you painting one here because obviously you don't need to watch me do all four sides and on the two. But you'll notice that I do go on the sides, like finishing the sides of this with paint I think is extremely important, or the marker, depending upon what color you were on, right? So now I'm going to go into my black here, and I just took a really small paintbrush and sort of just scratch into that green, if that makes sense. So there's not a real defined line, and then I add some highlighted black into the hair just to give it a little bit of dimension. And then I'm really thick with the black chalk paint. I want some actual three-dimensional piles of paint, like creases in her robe. And then I'm painting around the sides of everything there. So I'm doing the back side of the one, and like I said, I'm not going to make you watch me paint both of them completely. I probably could have taken this out. Sorry, it's in here. But it's very soothing to watch somebody paint in high speed. So, all right. Then I take a furniture marker and do that cauldron stick, mixing spoon, whatever. And I think I used maple. It doesn't really matter, whatever color you want to use. Then, of course, I'm coloring the sides because I want to make sure that all sides on this are painted, because you're going to see the sides because I'm three-dimensionalizing this into an A-frame. So I made sure I got all my sides covered and painted with green, the black, the wood, whatever it happened to be. Okay, and then once I get this all done, I'm going to paint my cauldron, and this is where things got a little different because I didn't use just straight paint. So I took and did a light layer of like a tempera black, so it's not a chalk black. So this is just a tempera black, so it's a really light layer because I want to make sure that I have full coverage on this wood before I do what I'm going to do. So that the underneath was this, it almost gives it like a black wood stain on it. Okay, and then after I get that all done and make sure all my sides are painted again, then I start my mixture. And so this you could do a couple of different ways, but you'll see as I mix it here. I throw some black and a little bit of white, not too much white, and then I throw in my baking soda. Oh, first I'm going to make my A-frame. That's right. Sorry, guys. So I just glued two together lengthwise and then painted them up because they're going to be underneath. They will be visual, so I had to paint all sides with the black, not the ends because those are going to get glued to it. And then I just made my A-frame. Oh, no, not yet. Now I'm going to paint the cauldron. So black paint, a little bit of white, and my baking soda. And I mix it all up, and what happens is because I'm using the baking soda, it like powders up, and I get a really good gray because the baking soda like makes it almost like lava, so it's sort of like bubbly and it's got this really good dimension to it, and when it dries it comes out with this very cement like effect. And so I just sort of dabble it all over it and kept my cauldron all covered up, and so I can let it dry because I need it to dry before I can put all my bubbles on. By the way, if you guys are really enjoying this, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and I definitely want you to leave me a comment about this. This so far is my favorite craft that I've made. So I hope you're enjoying watching how I make this. Anyway, but look here, it looks so much different than when it dries. It's really interesting because it just dries like this really cool concrete gray color. I love this effect, and I will be using it on other things because it's so It's so cool. So, all right. So now I'm dabbling this on, right? Because I want three-dimensional texture on this cauldron. I want it to look like it's just got, you know, all kinds of, it's like an old concrete cauldron. So now I'm going to glue it together. By the way, I only did that on the outside of the cauldron, right? I didn't do it on the inside parts, just painted the outside with that stuff. And then I'm just using my blocks to do my A-frame, gluing them together. And I did just use some hot glue because I knew I was going to go in there and add some more support to it with hot glue on the inside, from the inside. So this was pretty simple. And then I actually put wood glue on the very top and then clipped it and let that dry because I wanted to make sure that that top stayed together, keeping it in that A-frame. All right, look at that gray. Isn't that amazing? That's using that baking soda black with just a little bit of white in it. It's so amazing, you guys. It just came out so good. All right, and then I just take a little bit of chalk paint and I'm going to do some definition on my cauldron. So just going around the edges and of course on the neck of it there, giving it some definition. And then on the feet of the cauldron, I think I'm out of frame here, sorry, but on the feet of the cauldron and just adding a little bit of black around the edges on down and some sort of loop-de-loops. This side's not quite dry yet, so you can see there where I still have that. It's showing black, but it dries completely gray. This was the coolest effect. So then after I get the cauldron all ready like this, now I've got to start building my bubbles on top of it for my bubbling over cauldron bath mat. So I cut strips like 2-inch wide. Doesn't matter. I just cut. You can do it however you want. And then I took this. I think I have 3. Not sure. 3 rows of it. And then I took that purple midnight something temporary hair stuff, and it's so cool because it's like sparkly and purple, but a deep dark purple, midnight blue, I think that's what it's called, and that's exactly what it is. So I just painted all into the circles on this and then let that dry for a little bit. This is kind of tedious, you guys, but it ends up looking so cool. And then I just start cutting apart these bubbles, for lack of a better word. At first I was gonna try and use whatever these twisted things are called, and I was gonna try and pop it in there like as a base, and that really it kind of works. It was a little difficult, but eventually I kind of gave up on it and just started gluing them around and cutting them out. Now I'm doing this knowing full well that I'm going to add my purple littler bubbles on top of this. So remember that as I'm doing this, it's just to give me a base, and so that I don't have to do full coverage of the little purple things when I put them on there. So this is just random. I just glue them all over, front and back pretty much. And then once I've got a good base of those going, I just start cutting out all apart. I had purple hair dye on my hands. Thank goodness it's temporary. They go all over my hands. So I was just using hot glue to glue these down too, because again, I want to remind you, when I do the Mod Podge with the purple vase filler stuff, that's like concrete, man. It's like solid. Okay, so now I did add a little piece of the bath mat to give me a base on the inside to build my purple bubbles on top of. So I did put one more block in there to hold that as I wrapped it around. I hope that makes sense. So I just needed like a foundation to hold that too. Okay, so I just add this a little bit in. You're really not going to see this. This is really more just as a building block for putting my purple bubbles on. And a little tedious, but it all works out. You could do this just with tumbling tower blocks as well, you guys. I just had this there and had the purple. So now I'm going to put the purple vase filler. I ended up not using the green. I decided I didn't want to use the green. Of course I spilled these because that's, you know, not a mess. It was. So Mod Podge, lots of Mod Podge in there, like a lot of Mod Podge. This, you don't mess around with this. You definitely want to use a lot of Mod Podge. And then added in the purple hair dye because that's going to make these have sort of a midnight purple to them and sparkle. This is fun yet messy. So I just mix it really well, and now I have like this goopy glob stuff that I just start putting on there and sort of molding it. It does mold. The longer you let it set up, the easier it is to mold, right? Because you get a little bit more stickiness on it. Anyway, I just started globbing it all over, and then I even went back with a couple more of the little purple bubbles from the bath mat So I just continue to build it all up and make it look how I want it to look. It's so cool. It dries so hard, you guys. Like you can't mess this up. And there's no right or wrong way to do this, right? Because you're just looking for this to be bubbling over. So however it lands is like perfect. It works out fantastic. So then after I see how I'm throwing some bigger bubbles in there, like to stick in there. And then afterwards, I end up taking one piece of black paper and funneling it sort of in between the two sides to sort of look like the sides of the cauldron. And I just keep adding more of my bubbles that are sitting there, the big purple ones. This is so cool. It came out so great. So anyway, I just piled it all on and then left it to dry. And I ended up with a super cool boiling over witch's cauldron. And I gotta tell you guys, that vase filler with Mod Podge is amazing. And when I added in that purple hair dye, it was like even better. I used a paintbrush there to hold up the one little spot of the underneath bath mat that I have in there. I don't even know if any of this makes sense, but if you're watching it, hopefully it does. Just know that it's came out really cool and it's really fun, and it was not that difficult. The hardest part really was getting it all painted up. And so now I'm just taking the purple hair dye and I put some on a piece of cardboard there, and I started brushing it on her gown, and I'm making the raised up areas have some purple in it, accenting the bottom of the gown and the sides, and then painting the brim on her hat that iridescent purplish too. Doesn't the cauldron look cool, you guys? I think this is just really cool. I love the whole thing of this. It just came out great. Anyway, I hope you guys really like it too. If you do, make sure you leave a comment down below. This was a super fun one. I absolutely love this Halloween piece. It's my favorite so far. Let me know which one's been your favorite so far. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. You know I love you. You're all my besties. So hang on. You get a little bit more of me because I'm going to have to say goodbye to you at the end of this video. But let me know what you think. It's time consuming and a little hard, but the hardest part is getting all of this stuff on there. But just be ready to get your hands dirty, because they're gonna get dirty because of the dye from the hair and all that. Like, I haven't done my nails. I don't think I'm gonna do them, I don't know, in October, because I'm crafting so much. It's like, why? So anyway, so be ready. But look, I love, and it's the same on both sides, you guys. Like, look at the shimmer on her dress. I guess you'd call it cloak. I don't know. And it's good. And I don't know if you guys can see it, but there is a shimmer. You can't really see it, and I wish you could see it if I get it in the right angle. But there's a shimmer on this, what comes out like a blue when you paint it on the black. It's so cool. This looks so cool. I'm not sure it transfers on film as well as good as it looks in person. So anyway, all right, guys, thanks for watching. That was day number 8. I'll see you back here tomorrow for day number 9, which I'm going to film right now. So I'm going to be wearing the same thing. I'm going to come right back at you, looking just like this tomorrow. All right, so Effingham, say goodbye, besties. Goodbye, besties. Everybody have a great day, great week, great life. And as always, from your singing crafty crafter, ooh, ooh, witchy woman, see how she flies. Happy hunting at your local Dollar Tree. I'll see you back here tomorrow for number 9.